Just ask yourself, how many combined hours of your life have you wasted watching Disney suck itself off in opening logos to its movies? 3? 9? 1,000? Oh cool, Robert Zemeckis did this movie, a director who's famous for pushing technological boundaries in cinema. And hell, this is 2009, the same year as Avatar, so he's definitely worked out that uncanny valley dead-eye issue he had with the characters in the Polar Express. Also, look, I know this is a good story. It's got a bit of everything. Warmth, humor, redemption, a life lesson, but is there any f***ing reason that we need another version of this bull? We've already got Mickey, Muppets, Murrays, and much more, man. Opening a book to signify the opening of a movie about a fairy tale cliche. Gritty reboots. Jesus Christ, what is this long scene of Scrooge being hesitant to pay? We know Scrooge is a cheap bastard. We'll be reminded of it many times in this movie. You see? Also, can he even do that? It's not like Marley put the coins over his eyes himself as he was dying. These have to belong to the mortician. And he's okay with Scrooge stealing, even though he was just insistent on getting his payment. Someone got paid a sizable amount of money to digitize this kid's pimples, and I presume that skill is front and center on their resume.
Our heavenly Father, our blessed angel.
Pitchfork.com. Is this another McFly ancestor that's doing the whole skateboarding behind a moving vehicle bull? It may look like fun in a movie, but that would be annoying as hell if you were the driver. It's kids, Ebenezer. The sin is kids. Damn, movie, you gotta pace yourself on these Christmas carols. It's only 5 minutes into the movie, and you're a silent knight and a good King Wenceslas away from blowing your whole load. That pan to Scrooge's sign took over 12 seconds, even before it started doing its evil devil's advocate morphing thing. There are long takes in this movie, man. And it's probably to show off how good the tech is, but it just comes off as indulgent as the worst version of Jim Jarmusch. Wait, why'd it take so goddamn long for Marley to ghost Scrooge? He was already ghosting him extremely effectively.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. Humbug.
Roll credits. Wait.
Uncle. Nephew.
Polo.
Keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
Scrooge later went on to found an early version of Breitbart News.
I say, God bless it!
Tonight, the role of Dobby the House Elf will be played by Sirius Black.
Dine with us tomorrow. Let's see you in hell first. But why?
But why indeed? I know Scrooge is a Scrooge and all, but making this kind of declaration over a dinner invite is ridiculous. Bullies in Stephen King movies are more rational than this.
Because you fell in love.
I'm convinced the entire cast inexplicably attended the William Shatner School of Line Delivery before this movie started production.
What shall we put you down for? Nothing.
The f*** is up with these guys trying to shake Scrooge down? The entire city seems to know to avoid him like the plague, and that's just everyday interactions. Certainly not when it comes to asking him for money. This scene exists only to further engorge Scrooge's inner asshole. No, the other one. And we get it already. Yeah, real funny, Bob. Wait till half of these tiny break their arms and ruin Christmas tomorrow. I know there's some supernatural about to go down, but it hasn't even started yet. So why is this shadow? To increase Scrooge's size, the light would have to be down near his feet, but here he's being lit by a street lamp hung across a goddamn road. Oh, it's buggered. Seriously, I've sat through 17 minutes of nothingness and I'm buggered as right now. For this scene, Robert Zemeckis gave Jim Carrey a motion capture break and instead just digitized Joe Pesci's break-in footage from Home Alone. Also, considering Ebenezer's age and need of a cane to get around, I feel pretty confident in throwing in a he survives this here, or at the very least, he doesn't break his back and need hospitalization after this. These bells are being rung by a demon from hell, so hell's bells? God damn, man, even Brad Pitt's character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood thinks that this could have been 20 minutes shorter. He'd tell you himself, but he's out driving right now. I get that no one would be expecting ghost treasure chests being heaved at them while trying to make cocoa by a warm fire at night, but if said ghost treasure chests did start coming at you, moving out of the way would be a good idea.
It's all still a house.
Ah, yes, you know what you're missing from your traditional holiday entertainment? Jump scares!
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Why'd they have to use Gary Oldman for both Marley and Cratchit? Were there no other famous older British actors available? Seriously, couldn't get Bill Nye on the blower? Jim Broadbent? Terrence Stamp? Can there be overacting in animation? Because I think this movie is trying to test it out.
7 years dead, and traveling all the time.
It can't be all bad. Jacob's gotta have as many miles as George Clooney and up in the air. And that means pretty soon he gets a special visit from Sam Elliott.
Expect the first. Tomorrow when the bell tolls one.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over with, Jacob?
Negotiation.
Look to see me no more.
I've never understood the elaborateness of this whole plan. Jacob seemed to be getting through to Scrooge pretty effectively. Why'd they have to bother the three ghosts to convince him to turn his frown upside down? Is this seriously worth the cosmic capital they've invested into this asshole? Do they know it's gonna work? Look, I know people deal with stress in different ways, but is now really the time for jerking off? It's good to see Lumiere was able to find more work after Beauty and the Beast. I really thought that role was going to get him stuck in typecasting hell.
You, the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I mean, it would be pretty f***ed up if it wasn't.
But I am mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand there.
I have to give him an A for effort in this movie, but this scene is way too much Jim Carrey. This is like if he did the claws, he was making the most annoying noise in the world out of his ass, all while in character as Andy Kaufman. Flying, flying, flying. Excitement?
They have no consciousness of us.
It is Christmas Eve, man. They've been plastered for the last 7 hours at least. Quick question, who's this movie for? Kids? Cinematic tech heads? Dickens fanboys? I'm just saying it's way too dull for the first one, too clunky for the second, and most of the last group's been dead for about 50 years. Also, I don't care if this was originally released from the mid-1800s. This is still an old curmudgeon neglected as a child cliche. These CGI characters look faker than the ones on the deck when the camera pans out on the Titanic.
Ebenezer, it's your boss.
Cool. Way to kill the party boner with your immediate obsession, Ebbs.
Another idol has replaced me.
What idol?
A golden one.
Could be worse. You could have been replaced by Paul Abdul or Luke Bryan.
You fear the world too much, Ebenezer.
I don't care if it was in the original Dickens book. No one cares about the actual backstory for Scrooge. He's like Michael Myers or Joker or Hancock or Anton Chigurh. All we want to remember is the asshole part.
If this contract had never been between us, would you seek me out now?
Hey kids, you want to go see A Christmas Carol? Whoa, the one with all the spirits and the overdramatic humbugs and the Tiny Tims? Cool. No, the one where Scrooge and his wife discuss the terms of their wedding contract before irrevocably separating. Doesn't that also sound cool? Wow, Jim Carrey's really gotten good at impressions these days. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. I guess it's appropriate that he's flying across the Bruce Almightiest moon to ever Bruce Almighty. Still sinful, though.
Call men and know me better, man.
Hey, how'd this movie know about that guy that approached me in the park? My man, monotonous mirth makes me more maddened than merry. Also, this character looks much more like Ron Burgundy after a milk binge on the streets of San Diego than an omniscient deity that constantly laughs at his own jokes.
Touch my robe.
I didn't realize the Weinstein Company produced this movie. But why does he need this kind of magic to get off a giant pile of food? He's a ghost.
Not many mortals are granted an heavenly perspective of man's world.
And apparently the only ones that do get this reward are assholes. That seems totally fair. 19th century Google Maps.
There are some upon this earth of yours who claim to know me and my brothers, these so-called men of the cloth.
If they were going to cram in a ham-handed anti-religious message into this why didn't they just cast Ricky Gervais as this character? Also, is the Ghost of Christmas Present supposed to be literally God in the original material? Because if so, Mickey left a lot out of his version.
There's father coming. Oh, hide, mother. You must hide.
I'd remove all the sins if Bob burst in right now and shouted, "Why did you say that name?"
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Die! No, spirit.
I just cannot buy Scrooge's arc in this version of the story. What's his real revelation here? He's had many years of being a dick to everyone in the city. Now that he sees one pre-dinner routine, he's suddenly concerned? Really seems like this movie's leaning hard into our previous knowledge of the story for emotional payoff, rather than bothering to earn it itself.
And decrease the surplus population.
Man, this ghost face-off's better than Nicolas Cage.
I have no patience with him, Fred.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him.
Yeah, but you went out of your way to make a shitty joke about him being an ass like 2 seconds ago.
Forgive me. Did I see something strange protruding from your skirts?
Yep, and I figured it out. It's you put the a Christmas and banned in most of Wyoming. Imagine the talk parents had with kids during the 2009 holiday season after taking them to see this. That feels like it should be a sin.
What's he done with his money? He hasn't left it to me. That's all I know.
Sure, we definitely need the historical accuracy of a well-to-do Londoner working back a hit of snuff. Otherwise, I'd ding this movie for being chintzy with the period details.
Get a hold of yourself, Ebenezer. You're having a wobbly.
Careful, if it persists for more than 4 hours, you should consult an apothecary. Movie forgot to insert an action sequence until the very end, and this is the best it could come up with. A death carriage chasing an elderly man in a sleeping gown down an icy road. If anything, it's going to end up being an inadvertent ad for Life Alert. Also, seriously, what is the point of this scene? To scare him? Isn't he already scared? He's about to see his grave, man. I don't think some angry horses are going to be any more effective than a direct look at your fleeting mortality.
No,
Christmas pudding, no doubt.
What? Why is there a shit joke in here? Who's it appealing to? Who does number 2 work for? Upcounting. Oh, no?
Mrs. Dilbert, you're fired.
Awesome. He's still an asshole even after all this learning. It's a Christmas miracle. The ghost of Christmas yet to come is taking its job way too literally here. Trying to think of a movie that's wallowed in misery in its third act more than this sucker, and I'm really left only with films by Lars von Trier. Is the most obvious reveal since we found out Nick Fury faked his death in Captain America the Winter Soldier. Also, if this birth date is correct and this movie takes place in 1843, Scrooge would be about 2 months shy of his 58th birthday. I guess he could be 57 here, but holy is that a hard 57?
I'm still here.
Yes, and that's the problem. Let's wrap this shit up. Bring the turkey to Mickey, cue Mary Lou Retton, and spread cheer with Rizzo the Rat already.
What's today, my fine fellow?
Today? What Christmas Day?
That's why I'm walking through the city all alone with a sled that I may have just stolen. Isn't it obvious?
Go and buy it, bring it back here, and I'll give you a shilling. Come back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown.
What's he gonna buy the turkey with, though? Scrooge gave him no money. Even if he's imbued with the Christmas spirit, he's still old as right? His vertebrae are like Jenga blocks that are about to disintegrate right now.
And heaven and heaven and nature sing.
God damn, Scrooge is annoying. I don't care that he's found his Christmas religion. He's like that friend that went on the paleo diet and can't shut the up about how it changed her life.
And Scrooge was better than his word. He did all that he said he would, and more.
Sudden fourth wall breakeration.
I'm at work! Oh God, it's the sun! Are you ever going to see the sun again?
Let me leave it alone then.
Do you know what that means? Then let me teach you a lesson.
Now, you see how wrong people can be? That there is what you might call a doorway to a place of enchantment.
I cannot go there. And, well, frankly, many would rather die.
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh, I was blind!
I'm blinded! My eyes! I don't believe you. It's another trick.
Good afternoon.
Now, will you go to lunch? Go to lunch. Will you go to lunch?
When pretty ghosts come out to socialize.
Everyone's got a story, and Courtney, you can go ahead and pop that beanie back on if you want.
Tell me, Ebenezer, if this contract had never been between us, would you seek me out now?
It's a trap!